Today is Tuesday, June 14th, and you're listening to the Beer Temple Podcast.
Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.
Hello, and welcome to the Beer Temple Podcast. I am your co-host, Mike Shalau of Is Was Brewing, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris Quinn. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for the beautiful intro. It was flawless.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I practice in front of the mirror for about an hour every Tuesday.
As do I, and yet after like 250 episodes, I still cannot get it
the tear bump
clean. Yeah. Let's start over again. That's the best we can do.
Yeah. We're 45 minutes late because Chris tried to record the intro.
This is episode 250, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the one that makes the slushy beers at 350 or 450 North?
450.
So when we get to episode 450, we got to do a live on site episode from 450 North, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I've already got it booked.
Yeah, make sure you sign up for the Patreon so that we can afford to drive down to 450 North and afford all the beers there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Patreon is scheduled for episode 400.
451 we'll have the
Yeah, I
Patreon.
think probably.
Yeah.
Yes, that's me. Yeah, if I have it scheduled for 400, we'll have it ready to go by 451.
Yeah,
probably.
Perfect.
How are
text
you?
each other the day it's supposed to go up and be like, I don't know how this works. Did you sign up?
Yeah. Remember that show that we had, and we had people picked for it and everything, and then we just totally didn't reach out to anybody and forgot about it. Yeah. That doesn't happen.
No, never.
That doesn't happen.
Not once.
Yeah. But anyway, let's give some thanks. Thanks are due to Lumpen Radio for having us, for hosting us, WLPN 105.5 FM in Bridgeport, Chicago. Thanks for having us on all these years, all these episodes. And thanks to everyone who is listening, to all the people who are downloading us or listening over the airwaves. I think most people download us probably through some sort of iPod listening device.
How old are you?
Podcast, I mean. Podcast.
iPods. Do they even make iPods anymore?
I don't think they do. I think they just recently stopped making them, though.
Right.
Yes.
Got to miss the click wheel.
Podcasting. I mean, I'm definitely like getting to the point of talking about how I have to watch my programs and
Watch your stories.
Watch my stories and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I already am there if you listen to what I just said.
Yeah.
But we have a fun episode. I also want to thank the Fade Master.
The best.
Flawless fading.
Best in the game.
Best in the game. The GOAT,
Of
some would say.
Of all the Fade Masters on beer-focused podcasts, easily the best.
Yeah, I mean...
Top one, at least.
Logan would probably want to have something to say about that.
That reference is probably as dated as your iPod reference. Then Logan hasn't produced a show in like 3 years.
I know, but I mean, he was the OG. But I still
Don't
think
tell Logan. I think Serge is better than Logan.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah. It's a different game. You know, there's a lot more space now. You know, the ball's juiced.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was mixing sports metaphors there.
Yeah, it's okay. No, but it's okay. I mean, you can't compare them. They're each in their own era. You can't cross people in different. You can't fade into different eras. You know.
Yeah. No, you try to create a metric to do it. It's too hard. Everyone fights about what it is. Like fades above the replacement. You know, it's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, nerds.
But no matter which way you look at the data,
Fader
which
metrics.
we do,
Fader
metrics
getting out of hand.
Surge is, I would say, a fair. You can make a fair argument that he's the GOAT.
Passes the eye test for sure.
Yeah. So why don't we? We've got a whole panel who's just sitting here politely being quiet while we just talk like complete jackasses. I'm already. I have already had a couple beers because it was the last day of school today for the kids, and we were going to go to Margie's Ice Cream, and we went there, and it was like a 2-block long
You don't
line.
say. On a day when the heat index is like 115.
And it's the last day of public school, and every kid was there.
Yeah.
We live a block away, and we're like, sorry, kids. Instead, you're going to watch us drink beer. But no, we went
Every kid's dream.
Yeah, no, but they got to splash around in a pool, so they were happy. They went to their friend's house. So
Nice.
but so if that's my excuse for being less coherent than typical.
I'm stone cold sober. I'm just like this.
Yeah. So let's get into it. We'll introduce the guests and then talk about the format for the show because it's not a classic Insiders Roundtable this week.
Brand new.
Mixing it up.
Yep.
We're going to go in order of seniority, that being how many times you've been on the show, the only seniority that I personally care about. This is a tough one. Do you happen to know the most senior member?
Absolutely not.
No.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
I think it is Mr. I think it's Vav. I think Vav.
Probably Vav.
Yeah. Vav, what's up, man? How are you?
Hi.
How have you been?
Oh, I don't know. It's been,
Okay.
I can't even remember the last time
How are you? How about
I was
that?
on this. I'm good. Things are different. Mm-hmm. The world has changed. The industry has changed. We've all changed. So it's it's just an adaptation and a progression generally.
Okay. Well, let me ask
I'm
you
okay.
this. Are there any beers that you've had lately that you've enjoyed or that you're looking forward to enjoying?
Yeah. The Revolution Freedom Lemonade is one that I really wanted to hate. Mm-hmm. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, no. And then I drank one and went,
Yes.
yeah. It's real good. But
And
it's
it came out in like the fall, didn't it?
did.
Or the winter or something.
Yeah, it did.
And I think it was a smash
Doug just
success.
dropping the
It
ball
was
over there.
just so good. It just had
Timing
to
is
get
stuff like
made.
we time our podcast episodes. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
so good it
it's
had to
fine.
get made.
It was really, really quite spectacular. And it's neat because it doesn't. I can cuss, right? Because it's pre-recorded. It doesn't. It doesn't fuss with that whole pretending to be like a shandy thing. It doesn't. It doesn't live in that world at all. It's a completely different beer. It doesn't.
Chekhov's cuss.
It doesn't bullpucky you with any semblance of anything other than just lemonade. I mean, that's the vibe. It's built to be like a lemonade. I was astonished, and so I regretfully have replaced a lot of the Pilsner in my fridge with that recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a take home for me, which is new, a new thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that's huge to get a new take home. That's kind of like a standard in the fridge. So that's big news. All right.
Is
then.
it better than DBA?
No,
Okay.
but
That does not mean it's not very good.
yeah, no, it's apples and oranges.
Or
Well,
or
I guess
DBA
And
lemonade.
barrel it.
yeah, DBA and lemonades. Although to be fair, together
It
you
is
could
very
probably
much like
do
that.
like an Arnold Palmer kind of thing.
I don't know if I think that would taste good. I'm not sure.
If there's one person that I know could find out, it's probably Vav.
Yeah, I could
Probably.
I could make this happen
You have homework now.
All right. Well, yeah. Next time you're back in
2027.
in 2027,
Yeah.
let us know how it was.
Yeah, I will.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks
that would
for
be the
having
hot new
me.
style
Yeah,
in
of
the
course.
beer world. DBA mixed with lemonade.
Arnold. I'm trying to think of how to work Vav into Arnold Palmer.
No, it's Arnold Walker after David Walker. Arnold Walker.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make it an Arnold Palmer, and there is whatever. That's fine. I like it. Arnold Walker. Up next, we have Shana Solarte. How are you?
Hey, I'm great.
What's new with you? It's been a while since you've been on.
Yeah, I changed jobs.
Oh yeah.
Still in beer.
Okay.
but I'm not working with Cicerone anymore. I'm over at Omega Yeast now,
Nice.
and everybody there is way smarter than I am,
Okay.
which is cool. Not to,
Disparage the Cicerone.
disparage the Cicerones. I was just there for a long, long time. So yeah,
Nice. Very cool. What are you doing over at Omega?
doing some writing, working with the marketing team, and working on a yet to be revealed new public-facing educational type thing.
I think I followed that on. Got signed up for the email list.
Ooh. So
Nice.
the secret's out a little bit.
Just a little bit, but I already forgot what it's called, so don't worry, I won't. I won't be spelling.
Well,
out
if it's
names.
in an email blast, I think it's.
I don't think was it an email blast.
Oh, you're on an email
I
list. You
signed
said.
up for the email list.
Oh, okay.
I don't
If
remember
you
how
if
I
you got the
there.
secret link, maybe you found your way to the email sign up.
All right, listeners, if
Yeah.
you're out there,
Blind horse.
find the secret email link and let us know what
Yeah,
the
Google's
secrets
secret
are.
email link.
If you subscribe to the Patreon, we will automatically sign you up.
That's right. You're
Hmm.
all the Patreon subscribers, whether or not you like it.
Oh, I thought you meant the Omega Yeast Patreon.
No, the Beer Temple Patreon.
Okay, well we have to get one going fast. It might have to be more than 50 episodes.
Yeah, we got to sell these people's data.
Yeah. How about you, beer wise? Anything that you've had lately that you've enjoyed or that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I was out at Skeleton Key Brewery this weekend, out in Woodridge, Darien. I forget where they actually fall, and they had their mega collab on draft called "Keep Moving Forward," which was the day that a couple weeks before they reopened their tap room after the disastrous tornado.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of folks out to collab, which I think everyone in this room knows that a beer collab means like come hang out and drink beer while the brewer busts his ass.
Works. Yeah.
And I got there conveniently right after the last malt bag had been dumped into the mash tun.
Did you get to do a hop
Looking
edition?
through the window, like watching, waiting for the person.
Have
I'm
you
like,
done
hey, I'm
that?
ready to work.
Hey,
In
what's
your
up,
car.
y'all?
Yeah.
No, because I had to leave before the boil started.
There you go.
So,
So you were there for 40 minutes?
Moral support.
hey, you know what? I brought beer. We hung out. It was great. Yeah, so they're pouring it now. It's pale ale. It was super tasty. Just bitter, caramely. I had like 4 or 5 of them because I was not driving. Good times.
Nice.
Very cool.
Their new space is gorgeous. Go to Skeleton Key.
Yeah, I do have to go there. I've never been to the old one, so I guess I should go.
Me either. I got to check it out.
Yeah. All right, we're up to Mr. Okay, well this show's over. This show's been ruined.
Vav, chill out.
Yes, that is the one that ruined it. Thanks, Vav.
Yes.
Oh my! You know what? Fine. Yeah, it was me.
Mr. Andy Carter, who has a nom de beer. What's your nom de beer again?
It's Dr. Lambic.
That's right, Dr.
Oh,
Lambic.
That's a cool one.
Dr. Lambic.
How many
in
years
the
of
house.
school for that?
It was given to me many years ago.
Did you get
Oh,
less
so it's
to do?
it's an
Lambic
honorarium.
school. In
Oh.
Lambic school. Yeah, in Lambic school.
Oh, it was given to you after you passed your final.
After I
you
passed
handed in
my
your
the final blend. I submitted
Yes.
the final blend, and that's it. Wow.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Did you accrue a lot of Lambic school student loan debt?
I mean, it's not a great business out there for Lambic, right? You can only work in one part of the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's. I mean, I'm not married to a Van Roy or a Doublalier. I don't know how to say Armand's
Yeah.
last name. That's bad. Anyways, yeah. So we'll see. Anyways, yeah. So
tough
I'm
road to
good,
hoe,
you
man.
know.
Good luck with all that.
I'm good. I'm it's I had a few weeks ago I was asked to attend a really crappy beer event called the Firestone Walker Invitational.
Yeah.
And cover that. And I'm still, just
Bummer.
painting myself from just drinking all these amazing beers and not having to wait in lines because I had a media pass.
Oh, so
but
man,
yeah,
it's
it was-
not even. So it's like the double flex.
Yeah. But there I had plenty of great beers. Of course, you have to go get your side project before everyone else and take a selfie with it. But actually, one of the beers that stood out the most was a brewery from the Bay Area, Faction Brewing, and they had a 3.9% lager called 1970s Lager that really hit home because it's usually pretty hot at this event. It was actually fairly moderate, only like 80 some degrees this year, 80 Fahrenheit, by the way. But it was, it
Thank
was really nice.
God.
Thank you.
Well, to be fair, in Lambic land, I mean, that would be in centigrade, so it's nice
Right.
of him
So
to.
it's one
But
of the
80 would be also you're dying.
Like
So
180 Fahrenheit.
And you're killing, yeah.
Well, to be fair, it's
so
above 80 here, and we're dying. So.
So it was not quite a light lager, but not quite full bodied pilsner like a lot of people had. So it was really nice and refreshing. But yeah, overall the event was great. Had a ton of fun. It was almost like we didn't have a 3-year break. It was actually quite fun. And this is the most breweries they've ever had at that event. It was pretty insane actually, because there's always analysis paralysis. Like, where do I go? Where do I have? And then you eventually have too many beers, and then you're done for. So you have to pick and choose. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
number one on my bucket list of the ones I have not been to.
Well, you attended when I wore a mask of you looking for zombie dust.
That's
so you
right.
Did attend 1 year.
That's
one
true.
year.
I was there in spirit. I want to go there again, and for someone who does not know me, to say, "Oh, good to see you again."
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Your eyes look about the same they did in that mask. 'cause
Exactly.
full of
We
life.
did we did miss, and I forgot to preface this. I always want to preface my what coins I'm holding, because it's a market. The market's turning around right now. But inflation hedge, Rev coin, Dust coin, strong inflation hedges holding both, long on both.
Yeah.
So
Fluctuates
no
up to
Doug,
the right, baby.
no Doug Valicki course this year. It was very sad not to have him at
Yeah.
Invitational. Hopefully next year.
But yeah, I mean, it is true. Ethereum and Bitcoin are tanking. We've been doing some analysis on it, and I think it's because everyone is going so heavy
into
Dustcoin.
Dustcoin.
I mean, no one saw Revcoin coming. He's already drinking the lemonade like it's going out of style.
Right.
I mean, Revcoin is through the roof.
It's all about Dustcoin, baby.
Dustcoin, yeah, I don't know.
Dustcoin's
If you
the
wanna-
only.
if you wanna keep
the
your
only,
money, it's
the only.
Dustcoin.
Yeah, the only currency really. I was going to say crypto, but it really goes beyond.
It's the only one.
Yeah, it's
Up and to the right, fluctuating every day.
yeah, highly. It fluctuates heavily. It is incredibly volatile,
Yeah.
but it's only volatile upwards.
Upwards, yeah.
So that's the good thing.
Unpredictably,
Yeah.
we're skyrocketing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how much will it go up? That's the only
Only
question.
question.
So good thing that we are holding.
We're dusty hands with
Yeah. Yeah. We're lousy with
this
Dustcoin,
Yeah.
essentially. Cool. Well, thank you for coming on, Dr. Lambic. All right, we got some stuff going on. Oh, Dustcoin's up. Nice. Very good. Thank you, Serge.
It is up.
Yeah, Dustcoin's up, man.
All right,
Why do you
that's my-
think? Because we're pumping it, baby.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
well, no, we're not pumping it.
It's all pump, no dump.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep going. Pump and pump.
Wow. Yeah. Pump, and then I keep buying it at higher prices.
exactly.
Too. It's,
Exactly.
I'm just incredibly illiquid, so this better pan out.
Although Dustcoin,
It is also liquid, though.
it
so
is also liquid. So
it's
you're
the most
heavily
fungible, non-fungible
Yeah.
currency there is.
yeah.
Because it's mostly just liquid. But
It's
it's,
mostly-
not liquid.
Yeah, it's non-fungible liquid.
Yeah.
We've gone through this.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. You and I, off air ad
And
nauseam.
probably
It's
on
not
air.
fungible. And
I
it
think
never
I'm
will
gonna
be
go.
funged.
So
Okay.
if you guys want to, I'll
Yeah,
you want
that's
to get
fine.
me on the next one?
No,
All right.
it's okay.
You can miss out just like Jim Cramer did.
Yeah. So, so let's get right to it. We've got everyone here. All
Let's
right.
get right to it.
Let's get right to it.
18 minutes, 32 seconds.
It's
into the
18 minutes, and
podcast.
hey, that's
That's
12
the fastest
minutes.
intro I've ever heard. That's
That's
the fastest
12
pretty
minutes
good.
faster than we normally are.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good, especially with this many guests.
Yeah.
With 3 guests. So come on.
Well, we didn't talk about beers we're looking forward to, but I don't think anyone cares.
Nobody cares
Yeah,
about us.
move on.
Okay.
None of them.
None of them. Okay, so here's what we got. It's going to be. I'm going to take you guys into a world. We don't have a background music because I forgot to look it up. But I want you to imagine that you're going. We're all walking. Where are we walking, Mike? Quick. Where are we walking?
Metaverse.
We're walking in the metaverse. Okay. Weird, but we're really there, and
Like the
we
Super
come
Bowl bars?
across
Sure.
we
Wherever
c-
you want.
We come across an entity and a being, and for some reason, we don't know if they're benevolent or if they're evil or what.
He's wearing a robe. He's really tall. He's currently recording a TikTok about margin splits at tap rooms.
Yes, and he somehow sprinkles some pixie dust on us, and we've been hexed. Okay.
What type of dust?
Zombie dust. So he sprinkles zombie dust, zombie pixie dust on us.
All those undead pixies.
Exactly. And as a result, he says, you will be fine. Don't worry about it. But as a result of this...
Reassuring as always.
Yeah. But it's okay. Come with me.
Stop crying. It's cool.
You'll still be able to drink beer, but you won't be able to drink any other alcoholic beverage ever again. No spirits, no cider, no wine, no nothing.
Who needs
only beer, and only 6 different beers. But of those 6 beers, you can have as much as you want, and you can have it in any condition that you choose, kind of.
Right.
Like in whatever your favorite way of having it
peak
is.
freshness. You can have half full growlers of any sort of Citra hop cenotaph you want.
Right. Except it has to be a beer that is still currently available. So you might be a little bit bummed,
I'm
Mike.
a little SOL, yeah.
Because all their stockpiles of cenotaph, poof, they're gone. They no longer exist.
I don't want to play anymore.
Point of order.
Yes.
Point of order. Can it be a draft beer that some nerd put into a deli container and shipped to their friend?
If that's how you want to drink it, sure.
That counts
Wait,
then.
it's
Okay.
commercially... No, it has to
As
be
long as it's still
commercially...
available. Like Pliny the Younger, for example, which is draft only. It's a dong beer, right? Draft only, no growler.
Yeah.
And so if somebody brought in, like a deli container
Oh,
and then shipped it to their friends, you guys don't.
It's a big one, though.
You guys
That's
didn't
a big dong
pay
beer.
attention to Beer Advocate the way I did.
Yeah.
But if somebody
big
that
dong.
counts, then is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
This is the
But-
power of the zombie pixie dust.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
would you be able to get that on draft? Like,
Yeah. So
you
here's the
wouldn't
deal.
have to- you
So
could
if
get it in
somebody-
a deli container if you
Yeah,
wanted.
so it's really it's very good in some ways. So you're going to
deli container.
You're going to a deli container. It's going to have Pliny the Younger in it. It's going to, if that's what you pick,
But does it mimic being shipped across
No,
the
in
country?
any condition
from-
you want it to be. If that's what you want it to mimic, that's
Yeah.
how it is.
Like, if I want a 450 North beer post-explosion, I can have that.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll just appear on the ceiling of your basement.
I'll only get an ounce and a half at a time.
Yeah, and you'll
I'll-
just, as
I'll
it drips
instantly be
off
covered
the
in
ceiling.
red goop.
Dripped off of like an asbestos tile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
I'm in my mom's basement.
So if you have friends over, they can, I guess, bring their own beer. You cannot drink it. If you drink it, as you're drinking it, it turns into one of those 6 beers. You get to pick what it is, a little thing.
But including
happens.
the experiential parts of it. Okay.
Correct.
I get it.
But yeah,
Cool.
so no matter where you go, you're going to a fancy French restaurant. You only get those 6 beers to pair with everything. You're having a I don't know. It's the summertime and you're going to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last day of your kid's school and they're not getting any ice cream.
yeah. You're waiting.
What beer do you want to drink? Yeah. So does everyone understand? Okay. So you get 6 beers. They have to be currently made beers, but then outside of that, you get as much as you want. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to go around and see what everyone's 6 beers are, and we're going to talk to them because Shana works at a yeast lab. I mean, she knows what's going on. All right.
right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
person.
I mean, Andy's a doctor, for damn sake. I mean,
damn
Dr. Lambic, God's sake. God damn it.
Dr. Lambic, goddammit.
Yeah. We're incredible holders in Dustcoin.
Probably the biggest holders of Dustcoin.
Bav used to own a castle.
That's true.
I mean, these are
He
our
liquidated his
opinions.
castle to buy Dustcoin.
Exactly, to buy Dustcoin. And it's going to go well for him if he just keeps holding.
Just hold.
Believe in,
Just really hold
trust
on
the
to it, yeah.
process. Trust the process.
Diamond hands.
So that's it. Do we have any questions? Any more questions? Or are we ready to go? And after those questions are asked, then the tall, white-robed fairy disappears.
hovering.
The pixie.
The pixie.
The pixie, sorry. disappears.
Yeah.
And then poof. And
Any
then
questions?
Yeah.
I
All right.
I don't know how we're going to get through this in an hour.
No, it's fine.
No one
An
said
hour.
we were. Yeah.
Who said an hour?
How much time did you block off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We'll fix it in post. That's
Yeah.
fine. We'll fix it in editing.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question.
Yes.
What are some example situations for these 6 beers? Like you mentioned, going to a French restaurant and only
So you're
having
living
these
your
6
life.
beers.
I mean, you're living your life.
Whenever you would normally drink alcohol, instead of the alcohol that would be normally had in that situation, you have one of these 6 beers.
So it just
Right.
changes in the glass, like water
Yeah.
into wine,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, but you can
bewitched.
also choose. So you go to a Cubs game. It's also a little bit like the Truman Show.
But how does that-
Everybody's in on it.
how
So
does
you,
that get
you go to the
distributed?
Cubs game and they say, "What would you like?" And you say, "Pliny the Younger, please." And then they pour it
They
for
pour
you.
you.
But what's the distribution strategy in here? Because these
Magic.
breweries aren't going to want to be in
Magic.
the markets where they have to be.
Magic.
Magic. Oh, okay.
Magic.
We were just talking to a pixie version of Doug floating above the
Sprout
ethereal-
was
on the
Doug?
ether- what- No,
Hey,
it wasn't Doug.
I don't know
What
who
are you
you're
talking
talking
about?
about.
I'm
What do
not
you mean?
discrediting that part. I'm saying that everything's bound by the limits of reality, right? And so some things we
I
might
like-
not be able to.
I like,
So
in,
it's a
I like
version
in
of the
your
desert
reality,
island.
distribution
Yeah.
companies are so necessary that they would impose upon our mystical glasses. That is this a
Exactly.
3-tier system or not?
I'm
Exactly.
well, it's a
I'm the only one who cares about the rules.
I refuse to use any of these beers if they are self-distributed
It's a-
or outside of the three tier.
It's not
practical
fair to the
question.
bigger breweries.
What's the tax structure on this?
Right.
Is strong Mike just trying to screw with the whole thing and just try to like ruin our lives by removing the fantasy? Just have some fun. We don't care about
Exactly.
3
That
tiers.
was me.
Yeah, that was Vav.
Yeah, that was me.
That was
That was
Vav.
me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I would
voices.
never ruin the fun.
I enjoy ruining things.
So who's gonna go first? I think Mike, you should go first. No.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So as I was doing my hours and hours of reading the intro into the mirror, I was also doing prep work for this, and I wrote down like maybe 4 or 5 beers. So here we go.
For each slot.
Sure. And when I was doing it, I found I had no beers that were darker than like I don't know, maybe 11 SRM.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not
That was a
not-
difficulty for me too.
Yeah.
Is the dark beers.
not a wide bunch, but number 1 would be Terrace Bulba.
Okay.
De La Zen.
Yeah. Number 2, I had Rothaus Pilsner.
Wow.
Number 3, I had Edward from Hill Farmstead.
Okay. Pale ale, American pale ale.
Yeah. Number 4, I had Palatine Pilsner from Suarez.
Okay. What? 2 pilsners. Mm-hmm. 2 pilsners.
Yeah. 5, I had Main Lunch, which I actually didn't even give. It's on draft here, so I don't know how valid mine are. And number 6, this sounds terrible.
Right, you didn't get one.
So I
You're
guess
getting
replace
ready.
that one with Goldfinger.
It's your last opportunity before you have to
right,
only
but
drink
because
it.
I know I
get
could
it.
go back out there and get it again. Also, like you pick a 7% beer to start the show, it's a whole different show. You see what I'm like sober.
Which is what I'm doing.
Right.
So if that makes
And then number 6, I gotta go with Wilby from Iswas.
All right.
That is my favorite beer, which is a real homer thing to do. But if you run a brewery that makes less than 100 barrels of beer a year and you don't make your favorite beer, you're doing something wrong.
Interesting. All right. Very interesting choice. So just so you have Terrace Bulba, Rothaus Pils, Hill Farmstead Edward, Palatine Pils from Suarez, Main Lunch IPA, and will be Saison. Brett or unbreaded?
Ooh.
You didn't think the Pixie was going to...
I'm gonna pick a batch that
No, you
accidentally had Brett in. So no.
So Brett.
No Brett.
No Brett. Okay. Got to write that down. It's very important to have to clarify that. Okay. So give me what were you thinking of when rounding this thing out? Why 2 Pilsners? And everyone, please feel free to
Why not
to
2
ask,
Pilsners?
ask
Yeah, 'cause
questions.
I really like Pilsners. And I think those are
So you have
different.
6 beers, and you want 2 of them to be Pilsners.
I think those are significantly different enough Pilsners that they don't drink the same. So they're 2 distinct drinking experiences.
Where do you see yourself drinking the Rothaus, and where do you see yourself saying, this is more of a Palatine pills sitch?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. I would say if I'm trying to impress someone, I'm drinking the Palatine, right? Because I'm like pretty cool. I got my parents shipped it out from Suarez or whatever. But my parents, very cool guy. And then if I'm just hanging out at home, probably the Rathaus. If I'm at like Lachette's, probably the Rathaus.
Okay.
If I'm at the Publican, probably Palatine.
Right. If you're, showing someone the Untapped, check-in,
Yep.
then it's the Suarez.
Right.
Got it.
You got it. You get me.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you also, I do like that you've got a lot of the nations covered as well. So you got your Belgians.
And your Americans.
And your Americans. And the Germans.
Germans, yeah.
And the Germans as well.
It's a lot of nations.
It's a lot of nations.
3 of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty
All
good.
right. Nobody has any questions or comments about it? No weak links? Low alcohol. You got a pretty low alcohol group going
I
here.
never drink beer that's over 7% is really pushing.
Well, that's
it
the
for
lunch.
me.
The lunch
Right.
is 7.
And maybe
And will be is what? How strong?
5.3.
Wow.
Maybe I made a mistake because now I don't get to drink any other type of alcohol ever. But I still probably, if I had to make this choice, I still would probably not just put something on there to be like, it's 14.5% alcohol. Every once in a while, I'm going to want to lobotomize myself.
I'm just looking up how strong
I think we're
Rathaus
looking
Pills
like,
is.
I think it's like 4.9.
5-1.
Yeah, 5.1.
So you've got 5-1. Terrace is 4.5. Edward is probably what 5.
5.3.
Yeah. Palatine Pills is 7. Okay. Well, I mean, you're a quantity guy.
Yes. Oh yeah, big
Okay.
time.
All right.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I just never drink things that are. I barely drink beers that are 7% alcohol. Like, I wish lunch was 4.5% alcohol and it tasted like it did.
Okay.
I would pick that over lunch.
Maybe a nice beer to have at lunchtime.
That's right. 7% of lunch is also different type of second half of the day.
All right. Okay. Got it. Any questions?
Any other
anyone?
thoughts? Any critiques?
I'm just going to say, what do you have against Sierra Nevada Pale Ale here, bud? I don't see it on the list.
It's not as good as any of those beers.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Wow, we just
Wow.
lost a lot of Patreon subscribers.
A lot of listeners just clicked off, I think, yeah.
The Grossmans just...
I've probably had as
They
much
just
Sierra
laughed.
Nevada as anyone here in the last few months. It's a great beer. It's just not as good as the other ones.
Okay.
Do you think it's better than Main Lunch?
It depends.
I guess it's two different use cases.
Yeah, 2 different use cases. And I do think that I had some beers that are considered some of my favorite beers, but I felt like I needed to kind of spread my stuff out to cover all my bases.
You wanted to pander to the audience.
I wanted to pander to the audience.
I also think that when I was getting into beer, Sierra Nevada was already like a grocery store beer that wasn't blowing my mind. So a lot of
Right.
this stuff are things that were the first time I had this flavor or had this thing, and Sierra Nevada was just so accessible that I don't think it impacted me quite the same way. Delicious beer. I drink one every time I'm here and it's on, but it just doesn't grab me the same way that it grabs a lot of people.
Got it. Okay.
Too dark.
Too dark. Yes. So when you really when it's in the middle of winter and you're here, you're gonna I guess you're gonna drink a lunch, which is the darkest beer you have.
That's right.
The strongest and
I
the
think-
darkest beer is a main lunch. You will never want to drink anything darker than main lunch.
Probably. I mean, I'd be
Well, it doesn't matter if you want
I'd be
to.
fine going the rest of my life and never having anything darker than that. I think.
Cannot wait until you put out a dark beer. I'll
We
replay this.
haven't yet.
I'll replay this.
We will at some point, but
I mean, we're doing this show on like a 100-degree day.
Right.
Let's do it again on the next polar vortex.
mine would.
Exactly.
I genuinely think mine would look about the same.
Okay.
Serge, write that down.
Write it down.
All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah. Who's going next? Can't be the 2 hosts, so I say I don't go next.
So you're not ready, huh?
I was born ready.
I can go.
All right.
What do you got, Shana?
All right, so I just thought of this list, I don't know,
In your sleep?
half an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Just went with my gut. And Adam's questions earlier about the style of service or the condition got me thinking too. And the first one I wrote was Pivo Pills on draft. No other way, just on draft.
As fresh as can be.
Freshy fresh. Old style in a bottle.
Okay.
Interesting.
De La Seine Zinnebeer. In any form I can possibly get it.
Yep. That's coming in. I think we're getting some tomorrow.
I'm gonna sleep here tonight.
Yeah. And have you had the Zinna pills, by the way?
I have.
Yeah. Zinna beer. We have not had it in like forever, but it's coming in tomorrow, so that's exciting.
I also have Bell's Expedition Stout.
Nice. Nice.
I like a dark beer.
I do like that beer. I thought about putting. I will say this: of the 10 beers that have been mentioned, I've specifically thought about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them for
So
my
you
list.
didn't think about Wilby, did you?
Yes, exactly. It was definitely old style in bottles. I must have that on my list.
Yeah.
Okay, you got 2 more.
2 more. All right. Stiegel Radler on draft.
Radler. Oh, okay.
And Bodum, Half Acre Bodum
All right.
in a
Okay.
can, which is probably the beer and the format of that beer I've had more than any other beer in the last 2 years.
That beer does
Wow.
rock.
Beer is very, very good. I will give it. So, what was your thought process for what you wanted your beers to do? Did you just pick your 6 favorite beers, or were you trying to come up with, I need a beer for every situation?
It was mostly just like, what does my heart call out to? What if I'm going to any situation, gonna have a beer? What do I want? Is probably something on this list. And I went back and forth a little bit between Expedition and Guinness because I love Guinness. I love Guinness, but it doesn't hit that like dusty chocolate note that I love on an Expedition Stout. And dark beer is like how I got into beer. I have always been a big coffee drinker, and so I was like, oh, this beer tastes like coffee, and there's no coffee in it. This is cool. And just ran with that. So I like a dark beer on the list.
Oh yeah, and
It's a smart move.
yeah.
It's not a bold move. It's a smart move.
You also have very low alcohol leaning. So you've got Pivo, which is sub 6 for sure.
Yeah, it's probably 5.
It might be even
5.3.
under.
I think it's
5.
I think it's 5 something, yeah.
Yeah, you've got Old Style, which is what? That's got to be like 5 or something like that.
No way. That's
maybe
like
low
probably
6.
like 4 something, yeah.
Okay. Zinnebeer is just under 6, stronger than I thought. I looked it up. Expo, that's the big boy. So that's gonna be playing a lot of roles. That Expo, I think.
Sounds good to me.
Stiegel Radler 2.5, if I remember. And
Just had one on Sunday, and it was everything I needed.
Remember like the summer of Stiegel Radlers in Chicago?
Yes.
People were like putting gin in them and stuff.
Yeah,
putting Malort in them.
PK Radlers with
Yeah.
gin and Campari up on Fountainhead rooftop. That was,
Wasn't
That
that
was,
Girl on the Go rooftop?
I don't hang out at
Or
bars
Little
too
Goat
much anymore
Rooftop.
because of COVID's getting over. But I was at a bar down in Eagle Rock near Los Angeles last night, and they don't have too many beer selections, like 5 or 6 beers, but they do a ton of business with the Stiegel Radler. It's pretty insane, actually.
I mean, it's a crusher.
Yeah.
I mean, 2.5%. I mean, it's also something that you can literally just drink and.
Dream.
I don't think you can even get. You'd have to really try to get drunk from a 2.5% beer. You would
Like
have to
you'd
put in
like
work,
put gin and Campari into it.
right? But Shana can't
Yeah, that's right.
because
Can't.
it would all
It's
just
off
turn
limits.
into as she poured it in, it would turn into more Stiegel Radler or maybe an Expo Stout. You don't know.
Right.
I tried.
Wait, so in this fairy tale scenario, do we know what beer we're about to drink when it comes up to our lips? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And it can be,
pretty funny.
mental. You can just think it, and then it becomes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't think it, it'll have to become one of them, I suppose.
think it to drink it.
So this isn't a world issue. This is an individual issue in which you get to choose what you want
Okay.
as opposed to the world bending around you.
What part of a
You hate
pixie
magic.
pixie
hate magic?
putting zombie pixie dust on you. I mean, it seemed clear to me. I don't know. That's what happened. So obviously,
What do you
there
think
was some
happening?
fantastical magic. Yeah, I think that's what really
Explain
should
to us what you think the rules are.
I just want to see him like waiting for his delivery truck to show up.
Yeah.
But he didn't meet the minimum, so there's going to be a delivery charge. So
Literally every time he drinks a beer, he has to order it from like Southern Glazers.
I think
first
it's-
in, first out.
I
Yeah.
think it's realistic magic, one that lives within the confines of making friends with coincidences, as Genesis Peorage said. And so you go into a bar and you decide you want to order a beer, and for some reason your favorite beers are on the list that
No,
day.
this is a magical realism.
We're not
where-
saying different things.
Well, but this is more so the metaverse, right? Serge has
Yeah.
told
It's
us
in- yeah, we're in the metaverse.
But you go to the bar, they don't carry it for anyone else, but they pour it into whatever dirty glass they have, and when you go
And
to
it
drink
changes when you drink
go
it.
to drink it, yeah, it doesn't even physically change. Your friends just see you drinking the thing that everyone else is drinking, but it's like you're holding the tulip glass full of DBA that's been mixed with Arnold Palmer mix. I already forgot what the joke was earlier.
And when you look down at the tulip glass, it turns into a deli container. Mm-hmm. But your friends just see the tulip glass.
That's right.
This is the power of
It's
zombie
true.
pixie dust.
Zombie pixie dust. It's a little more sinister than regular pixie dust.
It's funny. I made a beer called Pixie Dust.
I really like your list, Shana. I gotta say, many of these I almost had on my list. I won't, but none of them I actually did have on my list.
Why old style in bottles?
I think it's like a nostalgia thing. My dad is a huge old style drinker, and he doesn't even live here. And whenever he's in town, that's all he wants to do. He wants to go get a burger and just drink old styles
That's
all
awesome.
night. So I sent him a bunch of old styles for his birthday last year, and I sent him cans. It's a little easier to put in the mail, but I don't know. It's just like something about that very old school feeling of like holding the bottle just by the bottom of the neck, and it's sweaty, and you are sweaty, and the beer is cold, and it tastes like practically nothing. Oh, just love it.
Good.
Just
All right,
being
fair
drinking
enough.
at, like a Chicago like tavern. I mean, I was Chicago adjacent for many years, living up in the rarefied air of the North Shore, Wilmette. I didn't really experience the tavern life. If it still exists, I'm not even sure.
I don't think taverns are allowed in Wilmette.
Yeah,
I know they're definitely not. There's Myers Tavern, that's unincorporated Cook County. But up in I don't know. Chris always says the death of the Chicago tavern, so I don't know how the tavern status is these days.
They're still around. I was hanging out one this weekend with my girlfriend's father, who's a big High Life drinker, and I was like racking my brain. There were about 2 hours when her parents came to visit, where it's like you have to entertain my dad because we're going to the Drake Hotel to have tea.
Nice.
And I'm like, this guy likes to hunt and fish, and I'm like little
We'd take him
fake
Rossi's?
industrial pansies. We went to Big Joe's.
Oh God, were the turtles being abused?
No, it was a Sunday morning, and so it was just us and 2 other people that live around there, and just drank some High Lifes out of the bottles. It was great.
Sorry, what's this about an
Cool.
abused turtle?
Oh, they do turtle
Turtle
races,
races.
and like it.
Oh, bummer.
It's sad. It's real. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
I've only
I
heard
don't-
about
only
it.
been to
I've never
turtle races
been,
once.
but
It's
I
a
never
great
thought of it as a bummer. It's not cool.
I used to live like 2 blocks from there,
too.
and
Pretty sure that-
I checked it out once when I had a friend visiting. I was like, "This sounds maybe fun," and then it was like, "Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah,
we
just let
should
'em- let 'em go
We
for
should
it. Oh,
go."
really?
Yeah.
I feel like the
They're not
turtle
like-
wouldn't
they're
be
not-
racing as a natural inclination.
Well, I thought it might be different people's pet turtles, and they bring their turtle because they think it's going to win.
No,
No,
And then-
they're like bar
it's
turtles.
like the
it's
same
a
turtle.
Oh, they only live there.
They
it's a
have- they
big
have
circular
names.
table, and they
Well, it's
put
their
them
pool table. They put something on top of.
They put them in the middle of the table under like a big bowl, and around the edge there's like snacks for the turtles, whatever they turtles snack on.
Lettuce.
Lettuce, yeah, and then they lift the bowl and the turtles sprint to the snacks, and it's like, were you really hungry? This is bad. I don't like this.
Got it. Interesting.
I don't think it's like dog fighting where they're starving these turtles or anything.
Right.
There's not a lot of money changing hands on these turtle races that I know of. But
They just go
Interesting.
real fast, and
Interesting.
it's unsettling.
Okay. Huh. I'll
the
have to go to
turtles
Big
were
Joe's.
not being raced when we were there. We were just drinking
Got
High
it.
Lifes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
it's a nice bar to like throw some darts and
Yeah. You
People
gotta love
watch.
a carpeted bar.
It is a carpeted
One
bar.
of my favorites.
That's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah.
If you got the old style sign out front,
Yep.
bar that, you got the carpet,
Yep.
maybe like a 50 to 60-year-old dartboard where the
Yep.
cork is fully dried out.
Well,
Darts
they-
don't
I-
even stick.
Their darts, I think, are pretty. This is something we don't really have to talk about on the show, but they have a lot of dart tournaments there, I think.
Yeah, they replace them for those.
Yeah,
They put
okay.
up good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. I've liked what we've had so far. So who's going next? Who wants to go?
I mean, I got a list. I think
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I think
All
you're
right.
ready too, Dr. Lambic.
Okay, cool.
Better be a lambic on this list.
all
There
lambic.
is
All
one.
lambic.
No, I wanted a diverse list. Of course, you can't drink only lambic. I think my acid reflux would take the better of me if I only drank lambic. The goal of this list was to provide a kind of a beer for any occasion, more than just my favorites, and then try not to do like the best beers. You know, your draft. What was it called? It has a slick name. Your draft. Game you
Do you
played.
mean
Dong
the,
beers, draft
no,
only, no
the-
growler.
the untapped salary cap?
Yeah,
bottle-
salary cap.
Untapped
I
bottle
just didn't
cap,
wanna
salary
pick-
cap, fantasy
I
draft.
didn't want to just pick that.
Yeah.
That's stupid, right? Plus, I haven't had like half those beers. So, first, foremost, one of my favorite beers I'll have pretty much anytime I want a beer is Swami's IPA from Pizza Port.
That's a good one.
That's pretty much for me the goat like beer.
That's a good one.
I like IPAs a lot. It hits all the notes. West Coast IPA. That's it. For the kind of lighter Pilsner, but not too light, there's a brewery around my corner called Enegren, and they make a beer called Adel Pils. So it's
Okay.
a seasonal. It's not super bitter, but it's pretty floral, and I like that a lot. For the kind of Belgian-y thing, because I drink a lot of Belgian beers, and it's an
Yeah.
off-the-beaten-path one, West Federland 8, so that's the blonde.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Out of a bottle. It's only out of a bottle, so it doesn't even matter how I
Yeah.
serve it. It's out of a bottle. Just amazing. Really
Exactly.
hoppy. Staying in Belgium, Dr. Lambic, got to have, I think, the best one, Dry Fontaine Goose. That's, to me, that's the standard bearer of the style. It's always dependable unless the cork is completely screwed, and then, well, you throw it out and you find a new one. But then again, this is a fantasy, so every time
Correct.
you open it, it's always a perfect
Perfect.
cork, right?
And if it isn't, you just get another one.
Get another one,
Is
exactly.
that part of your fantasy experience that sometimes you
Exactly.
get that?
Yes.
Whoops. It's a crappy one. Okay, we'll make
Exactly.
vinegar out of this. Yeah.
And I take
okay.
the good Phantoms.
Ooh.
Oh right.
So then, as we're going on, I realized making this list, and if you look at the piece of paper in front of me, I have a lot of scratch outs and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm missing this or missing that.
I kind of do too.
What I want, so is the last two get sweeter, but I still want hops. So I was thinking about my favorite hazy IPAs, and I'm very particular because everyone so much animosity. Who makes the best one? And I'm just going to pick. And honestly, as I'm recording this episode, who knows if it's going to be made anymore? Modern Times Dinosaur World, which is one of their
Okay.
hazy IPAs. They make one or two a month, and that one's been a consistent one they've made, and it's just always really good. Last, certainly not least, this was a tough one because I wanted a dark. So the goal here is one
Yeah.
dark beer A, stronger beer B, and some level of adjunct. My favorite adjunct, coffee. So Speedway Stout, AleSmith Speedway Stout. Final answer.
Yes. Very good list. Okay, so we got Swami IPA, Enegren Adel Pils, Westy 8, Dree Goose, Modern Times Dino World, and Speedway Stout. Much higher alcohol list here. I mean, you've got your pills. I don't know what the goose is. I mean, the goose could go either way.
5 to 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Swami is probably 6 or 7.
It's about 7. I think.
7, yeah. Westy 8 is probably
It's only
around
6.
8.
No,
It's
is it
only
6?
about 6 or 7. It's
Yeah, it's not like a triple or anything.
it's like a Western. It's like a Belgian single. It's actually not that high in alcohol, but it's like 5 or 6. Say.
Session
Okay.
Belgian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so here's something that I was toying with. So your only dark beer has coffee in it, right?
Yeah.
So it's late at night. You're going to be drinking some caffeine in that beer.
Exactly.
You're okay
Exactly.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
All
okay
right.
with that. I drink a lot of coffee.
All right. Because I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, I had a coffee beer, and I was like, ugh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe the laws would. Oh no, they probably wouldn't allow me to adulterate my beers. I
You
couldn't
can pour the coffee in there, but
No,
when you go back,
it
and
would just
drink
turn
it's
into
the
more
base
Speedway.
variant,
Yeah, it would turn into more Adel pills.
It can't be post adjuncted. It's only pre adjuncted.
Right.
So.
I think you could use these rules to win a lot of bets. Of like, I'll drink that gross thing, and then you pour it in there. It just turns into Adel
yeah,
pills.
I'll down that entire bottle of Jim Beam, and then it just turns into
Yeah, you
Terrace
turn into a
Bulba.
modern day shoe nice. Anyone remember shoe
Or
nice?
a Radler. It turns into Radler. And then
You're
yeah,
welcome.
Now you're just hydrating.
Yeah, and now you're hydrating.
Yeah.
And you're just winning. See? It's a gift and a curse,
Yeah.
you know.
This list was somewhat unsurprisingly, given your geographic location,
Yes.
had the most things that I haven't had. I
And
haven't had the-
4 San Diego beers.
Yeah, I've never had the Modern Times. I've never had the Adel pills. I guess,
Adel's,
I guess that's it. I've had the
Moore Park. It's California. I mean, California. 4 out of the 6 California.
And they're all also specifically San Diego, aren't they? Unless where's Enegrin from?
Enegrin's Moore Park, which is more like northern LA.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. SoCal. Out of SoCal.
SoCal. I've been living here for a while. Most of my formative craft beer drinking has occurred in the Southern California region.
They got some good ones there, I hear.
They got some good ones around here, don't they?
There
There was a runner-up, honorable mention. I don't know if we want to mention.
I think
can
we
I
should.
mention?
Yeah.
I was thinking about throwing everything a monkey wrench and throwing an athletic blonde ale on here, just so I could say I could have a.
That's a shenanigan. There's no
It is
alcohol in
shenanigans.
that.
Because you can have-
0.5%, sir. Excuse me.
Oh, it's 0.5%.
Then kombuchas count, sir. That's shenanigans.
But I think is why add that to it, because you can have all the athletics that you want, right? You can
That's
drink
true.
any
Actually,
of
that's
those.
what I was saying. I was saying I don't need it because I would always have those. Those are not technically alcoholic beers, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we've got the rule that if someone does violate the rules,
They die.
they die.
I can never attend this podcast
instantaneously.
ever again.
Yeah.
I was thinking you just lose your beer, and whoever calls the shenanigan gets to replace it with any one of their beers, any beer of their choosing,
Oh.
or you die.
Yeah. I mean, in the
That's
metaverse,
easier.
you would die.
Yeah, that's easier.
You would die if you found a way to like see the code of the Matrix and kind of hack it.
Yeah.
You would be dealt instant death, painful, actually slow, painful death, not instant.
Slow, instantaneous, painful death.
Yes,
It's like you have to listen to the Zombie Dust episode again.
exactly.
Damn.
Yeah, I wasn't on that
Cold.
one. Nice.
It's only 20 minutes, and people still get.
Zombie Dust Radio Hour.
Yeah,
I liked that episode.
it's my favorite episode.
I was
favorite
laughing
episode.
while I was listening to it.
I've never heard it.
Yeah,
It's
Gotta
probably
go
the best
back.
episode of the show. You should check it out.
probably the best episode of anything.
It went over so well. Chris was like, you should co-host permanently.
Yeah, exactly. On one condition, promise me to never. You're up, Vav, because I've already decided on bookending this thing. Mike and I are at the bookends.
Oh man! All right, hang on.
That's always a good sign.
Well,
he's
a
currently
moment?
on
we can,
Instagram.
Should we?
No, I'm good.
Should we take a? Let's take a. Yeah, we're gonna take a.
We gotta
a
work out the
2-minute
distribution first.
2-minute
Yeah.
break. 3-minute break.
Vav was calling
The
distributors.
fade
to
master
see
saying he
if
needs to fade. So you got 2 extra minutes. We're gonna grab some beers and we'll come back with Vav's picks.
Welcome back to the Beer Temple Podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike Shalau. I'm here with my co-host, Chris Quinn.
Yep.
Adam Vavrick of Adam Vavrick fame. Shana Solarte of Omega Yeast. And Andy, I don't know your last name, from the Beer
Carter.
Full
Dr.
Pint. Yeah, Dr. Lambic.
Dr. Lambic.
Got a lot of things. Dr. Lambic, the full pint, Brewlosophy, a lot of stuff.
Southern
Yes.
California.
Southern California.
You know what? When you start off saying everybody's first and last name, you should think at least halfway through.
Do I know everyone's first and last name?
Yes. And if not, what am I going to say?
You know,
You say- and Chris,
when we
why
were
don't you
coming,
finish
when we were
this
coming
off?
back from break, I just got pointed at, and I had to bring it back as we were recording. So
That's
I
true.
did not plan
true.
ahead.
Believe me, I've
My apologies, Andy.
I learned.
That's fine.
I say that because it's happened to me multiple times where I'm coming back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forget this person's last name, or more often, I forget how to pronounce their first or last name, and I just yeah, it's not good. Anyway,
So everyone usually gets
I forgive you.
nicknames. Yeah.
so here's the deal. Everyone remembers there was a magical fairy man.
TikTok fairy.
Yeah, some TikTok fairy that in 3 minutes or less hexed us with
While doing the Dougie
zombie pixie dust. Yes, while doing the Dougie.
and explaining margin splits between tap rooms and full distribution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was doing. This guy was wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flipper hats.
Flipper hats. So we've gone. We've got just so far. I'll just very quickly do it because I'm going to give Vav as much time as possible. Great. So Mike, you had Terrace Bulba, Rodhouse Pills, Hill Farm Edward, Suarez Palatine Pills, Main Lunch, and will be no Brett. Shana had Pivo Pills, Old Style in a Bottle, Zinna Beer, Expo Stout, Stiegel Radler, and Half Acre Bodum in a can.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
We not to interrupt the recap. Finish the recap, then we'll.
Okay. And then Dr. Lambic, a.k.a. Andy Carter, like how I know the full nom de beer and the name, although he did have to explain, remind me of the nom de beer. Anyway, he had Swami IPA from Pizza Port, Enegrin Edel Pills, Westy 8, Driefonteinen Guz, Modern Times Dino World, and AleSmith Speedway Stout. Okay, there's the recap.
Great lists all around.
Yes.
We stipulated that when we get this, whenever we're drinking this, it turns into that. Whatever we're drinking alcohol, it turns into one of these 6 beers, and in whatever form and at whatever age we want it to, right? Is that...
Well, what I was thinking was whatever our favorite version of it is, it will always be that.
But do we pick one of those, and every time I can't pick the Will Be with Brett and be like, well, this time I want a very young version, and this time I want a very old version. Like, you can't.
No.
It doesn't change.
That's
you just
two
pick,
different
You just pick
slots.
the
No.
one.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same beer. I literally based a
But
whole
it's
naming
not the
convention
same
about
beer.
my brewery around
Well,
this idea.
that's
It's the
kind of
same
my
beer.
point of contention here, because I do have a few beers that I think live in a specific time and a place when production was a bit smaller and ingredients were a bit different, and so I have a nostalgic memory that I don't think exists in these products anymore. And while I love them, I don't feel comfortable putting them on here because I can't say X beer from 2003.
Correct. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Right. I think for the purposes of this exercise, you pick one time of that beer. Like, I can't just pick the Will Be with Brett and then be
But
like,
no
well,
vintages, yeah.
Right. Or I can't just be like, I want 8 months old. I want 2 months old. I want it 2 years old.
Okay, well, no.
You always get the same one.
So let's see what Vav's got.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
We'll
I
come
have
back
one of
around.
those.
All right.
And I'm just
We'll
gonna-
call shenanigans, and I'll give
I mean,
you.
Go ahead.
I think
Mama
get
Mia
ready.
pizza beer.
I think
You all already
slow,
know.
instantaneous death is impending.
Bring it on. You all already know what number 1 is going to be. Like, you do. You know.
Okay. I think I do know.
I think I know.
I think it's going to be the oh my gosh, Pale 31.
No.
They don't make it anymore, so it can't be.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's not on this list.
DBA.
No, that's not. God, it's like you guys don't even. This is what you get when you don't have me on the show
Haterade.
for 3 years. The beer is Orval,
Oh yes, that's true. I should have done that.
the Trappist beer
It's a good one.
from the south of Belgium on the Luxembourg border, and I had it specifically at 6 months, and I felt that fell within the
Yeah.
window because it is a commercial
That's
production.
about when it comes. That's about when we get it here.
And
in
that's
the
about
States.
when it
Yeah.
hits the States
Yeah.
on the dock. However, you can get it in Belgium at around the same time because they have a 5-week warm room. And, production levels kind of vary. But having had so many of these damn things over the years, that's where I kind of feel it's optimal. The Brett's just starting to take effect, but it's not hefty. It's clean still. The hop character, all those styrians still come through really beautifully. It's just the perfect beer.
Okay.
And if we were to narrow this down to one, this would be my beer.
Got it.
So number 2 would be Rev Pils.
Okay.
And Rev Pils is the beer that I drink more of per liter than any other beer. It's a
so wait, other beers that you drink liters of, you drink less of than the Rev per liter?
If we're going purely on a volume scenario, I consume more Rev Pils than any other beer.
80 degrees Celsius.
Got it.
And liters. That's what we're working with today.
Got it.
Bunch of European people.
Got it.
And Rev, it lives and dies by that Saphir hop, And whenever they switched to that, and there's a funny secret about that hop. But once they switched to that just did it for me. And that
What's
is
the funny secret about
I'm not
that hop?
telling
You can't just say that. and
trade
then,
secrets, buddy.
Okay,
It's
I'll
a
tell you.
thick secret.
We can trade secrets.
Well,
I'll give you
okay.
a secret. You give me that secret.
Okay. They use it in the beer.
That's not a secret, so I'm not.
It's not
I'm
funny
giving you
either.
anything.
What is the third beer?
Number 3 is Russian River's Blind Pig.
Okay.
I know a lot of people go
a good
ape
one.
stuff
Uh-huh.
for Pliny and so on, but fuck them. Honestly, Blind Pig has always been
Chekhov's fuck.
my favorite of
Okay.
their IPAs. It's
Okay.
just beautiful.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 4,
Mm-hmm.
Fremont Summer Ale.
Ooh. Okay.
just
I've
a-
never had that one, I don't
So
think.
it's a smash beer. It's just 2-row pale malt, their water, their yeast, and Amarillo hops. And
Okay.
I believe the Amarillo's coming from Goshi, so this is a deep cut for any of the brewers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that it's got that perfect, that juicy fruit kind of thing that you want every Amarillo beer to have.
I've never had it, but I want to have it because Fremont is. I've never had a bad beer from them.
Yep.
The best.
And I've had many exceptional beers from them.
Number 5 is Andischer Hefeweizen. And so that is a really beautiful Hefeweizen from a monastery, or an ex-monastery up on a hill that overlooks Bavaria. It is infrequently found fresh these days, but when it is fresh, it is just bursting with bananas. It's just awesome. And I know there are more, classic Hefas that come out of that, the import sphere, but that one is and remains my favorite.
Cool.
And then number 6, rounding it all out, is Three Floyds Alpha Claws.
I almost put that one
of
on my
turns.
list too.
Lots
Yeah.
of turns in that one I was not expecting.
Yeah, I wanted something
love that
dark.
beer.
I wanted something a little higher alcohol, but I also wanted something that, like, if I'm going to a restaurant and every beer is turning it into what I want it to be, I don't want those other 5 with dessert sometimes. I don't want those other 5 with something just massively ridiculous and charred sometimes. And Alpha Claus is not a Christmas beer. It's a really fantastic porter with an amazing hop profile. And it's roasty, and it has that dusty chocolate, and it has the espresso notes, and then it has all that cool sort of like citrus rind and all that business going on top from the dry hopping. And it's a really lovely dark beer. And the main reason it's on here is that it's for the past, I don't know, whatever. How long have I been doing this? 80 years. However long, that is a case that I buy myself every year.
It's a great
every
beer.
year.
I don't think I've had that in
So those are my 6.
One of my
5
favorites.
years.
One of my all-time fave beers is Three Floyds Alpha Claus. I considered putting that, and I also considered putting maybe Moloko on there.
Oh yeah, the milk stout.
classic.
Yeah,
But-
that's a good one.
Yeah, but it's like 10%. I was a little worried about how 10%.
Loco, isn't it 8%?
Yeah. Is it 8?
I believe it's 8.
Okay, that's cool.
Let's see what's on Chris' list now.
Maybe I'll change it. I haven't said mine yet. Nothing is set in stone until I. In fact, mine is not made up yet.
Well,
I have multiple beers listed.
I feel like a
on
lot
mine.
of this is made up.
I am very
It's all
surprised.
real.
There's no they don't make DBA anymore. Is that what?
No, they do.
You've just grown and changed
It's-
as an individual.
It's not. We can pontificate about that later.
Why do you hate DBA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, cool. Now we've reached the social media discourse
Yeah.
when it
clip
comes to the
clip
conversation.
this, Serge. Put it on our clip channel.
Yeah.
No, but answer the question. Why do you hate DBA?
Yeah.
I
Why
don't.
do you hate?
I do
DBA?
still love DBA.
And Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why do you hate Sierra Nevada Pale Ale?
Well, it's just that they're too good when it comes to bottle conditioning, and they put everybody else to shame.
It's too good.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's it.
It's
They're
just too
They're
good.
the only ones that know how to squirt the exact amount of yeast cells and the exact amount of sugar into that 12-ounce bottle to get a perfect re-fermentation without leaving any sediment.
I mean, you have another re-fermented beer on your list, though. So you think that one's a better re-fermented beer than Sierra Nevada Pale Ale?
Orval? Yes. Absolutely it is.
I agree.
All right then.
I had an Orval in Belgium that was like the youngest Orval I've ever had, and it shocked me how much it like reminded me more of like English pale beers than it did of anything Brettanomyces driven or
That's the thing about Orval. I mean, the recipe, from the 16th century, 17th century, was more or less influenced by the Burton ales. That's why it's dry hopped with styrians for 14 days. It's why it has a primary ferment, the way that it does. It is. That's why its malt selection is pale.
That's why it has Brett.
No, the Brett was an accident and just lives there.
Well, right, but I mean,
I thought the
probably
Brett was
because
It has
Intentional,
more
but
in
much
common
later.
with a Burton ale and an original IPA
To it.
than it does any other Trappist beer.
I was pretty sure the Brett was intentional, but it was added.
Not
much
back then.
later.
Look, I can show you here.
No, we don't want to do that.
see
No,
this.
no,
At
no, no.
home, but
Put your
Later.
phone.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
there are at least two people that care.
Okay. Very interesting.
Chris.
I like that list. So we've had
So-
Orval. What's up, Andy?
I was going to say, Chris gets the benefit of all of our lists now to make the best actual 6 lists.
True. I like where you're going. I like that you've already assumed mine's the best. Okay, so we've got Orval, Rev Pills, Russian River Blind Pig, Fremont, On Deck, Hef, and Three Floyd Alpha Klaus. Okay, so here's where we're going with mine. I did mine. So I didn't necessarily pick my absolute top favorite beers. I tried to cast a very wide.
Julius isn't on the list 'cause that's
Well,
your favorite beer.
I did
Julius.
Julius. I did King Julius.
Yeah.
I did King Julius. They have a new pale ale version of it. I forget the name of it, but it's on my list. And then I have Jules
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Prince Jules. Okay, so I've got
Young Jewel.
number one. I don't think any surprise here. Fathead Headhunter IPA.
You got to.
Gotta. My favorite IPA. Such a banger. All right, just we'll stop showing phone pictures.
That was a picture from Orval.
Okay, I mean I could have
Or a
assumed.
goth at Orval, I think.
So we've got Fathead Headhunter IPA. Mm-hmm. We've got
Heard of it.
Hill Farmstead Anna.
Okay.
Got my Saison, my somewhat clean Saison, just kind of nails anytime I want something kind of Belgian and effervescent and stuff like that. This one kind of surprised me, but I wanted something that was just going to be quaffable and a lager that is malt driven, but I was okay with it being just a little bit more hefty, so I went with the Rathaus Märzen Eitzapfel, which is a very light, very, very light, almost like Helles light
Yeah.
Märzen. So yeah, just for those of you out there, not one of those amber guys, very light. And then for 4, almost went Zinnebeer. I have it written right here, but it's Terrace Bulba. When I want something light, 4.5% and hoppy, because I've got the Headhunter at 7.5. If I want something lighter with some esters and super zippy, Terrace Bulba. 5, I've got literally 3 of them written down here, but I think I'm going to go with Cantillon Saint Lambinus. The red wine for something when I want to go for that kind of
Merlot grapes,
mood.
right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's also 7%, so it was a little bigger. So then was the dark beer for me. And this is the one that, as of right now, as I'm talking, I still have not entirely made up my mind. But I think I just got to go with Guinness. Guinness is my
Which one?
stout. Guinness Draft. Guinness Draft. Gets the roast. Can drink it forever. Just over 4%. I got my high alcohol in other ways. I almost went Lion Stout, but I haven't
I
had that in
also
so long.
almost
I
went
haven't-
Lion
Really?
Stout. Yeah,
I haven't seen
but
that in
then
forever.
but
Weird.
then you specified, can you get it? And I don't even
Well,
know.
it does. It is
Yeah,
still
we did have the whole
made.
distribution
Got it.
issue in this.
It is still made.
Is it still
now
made?
you all
Okay.
come crawling back.
That was 8.8, but I haven't had it in so long.
I haven't had
Yeah.
it in probably 4 or 5 years, but that was like a go-to for me.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So I almost went with Lion Stout, but I decided at the last minute. If I went with Lion Stout, I was going to go with a lower alcohol lambic, but because I just want every situation. I want to be ready. You know, is it a cheese plate? Bang. Is it, meat and potatoes? Am I having Brian Kirby over for dinner? We're having meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Then I got to have something ready for him.
That's right.
Yeah,
for you, because he's drinking something else.
True.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if I'm offering it to him, all I can offer to him is these beers.
Is that part of this?
Sure. In my mind.
Wait, yeah, no, that.
Wait,
hold on.
hold on.
That
No,
changes
no,
everything.
no.
Because that's only what we're drinking.
All right,
right?
start
Other
over.
people-
If he's visiting, I said he's coming over to my house, so all
No,
I
but
have
he doesn't.
is this.
He's
But
not enchanted by the.
He
Floating
can bring
dog.
over his own beer. I can say, bring over
whatever
your
you
own
have in the
stuff.
fridge can change for him,
Yeah,
right?
you can
Unless
buy
change
other
it back.
beers.
So
You
what
can
you're
buy it.
saying-
That's how
My-
distribution
My
works.
Pixie gave me a different. He gave me different rules than you guys, I guess.
That's not fair.
So like
Well,
I could
then
go
that's
and
your
buy.
rules are
cross
wrong.
I have
I
to
can go
bear.
and buy a case of the cheapest beer at the store, but when I drink it, it's going to turn into Zinnebeer.
Yeah.
This is the best.
Best word. Yeah.
This is the best world ever.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm
Doug.
in.
I don't even think you have to pay for it. It just appears.
I'm still going to buy Orval if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You can still buy it.
Yeah. Support the monks.
No, the importers and the wholesalers.
No, it's the monks.
You need the whole chain.
It's the monks.
Yeah, I love that in a utopia where every beer we drink turns into one of our 6 favorite beers. Still gotta get that middleman his margin.
Exactly. Exactly.
The whole system will break down if you don't.
Yeah, it would.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
let me
Wirtz
just
couldn't own a
I
hockey
think we
team
just went
anymore.
through them all again, but I'll just quickly do it. So, Mike, we have Taras Bulba, Rothaus Pills, Edward. I mean, think of how similar ours
Yeah.
by the way.
The only overlapping ones are Terrace Boba, which is
But I had a
very
different
this show.
Rothaus.
Yeah,
Different Rothaus.
different Rothaus. And I almost didn't put Rothaus on.
Right. And then I
that's
almost
my
had
honorable
Edward, but I went with Anna instead, but a different year-round Hill Farmstead
Yep.
beer.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
interesting. Palatine Pills, Lunch, and Will Be. Shana had Pivo, Old Style, Zinnebeer, Expo Stout, Stiegel Radler, Bodum Half Acre,
Solid list too.
Dr. Andy Lambic had Swami IPA,
I'm just gonna butcher your name. I'm
Enegrin,
so sorry.
Edel Pills, West Veteran 8, Dree, Guz, Modern Times, Dino World, and Speedway Stout. Man, okay.
Killer list again.
Vav had Orval at 6 months. Rev Pills, Russian River Blind Pig, Fremont Summer Ale, Ondex, Hef, and the Three Floyds Alpha Claws.
Killers.
And then I had the Rothaus Eitzoffel, Headhunter IPA, Hill Farm Anna, Terrace Bulba, Cantillon St. Lambanus, and Guinness is what I had.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Real quick, round table, everyone. You have 10 seconds, 2 you left on the cutting room floor.
I was going to say if you had okay, we can
Yeah,
do that.
we can just do all honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. Any honorable mentions?
I almost had Timbo on there, but that's more of
Okay.
like a recency bias for me because I just had it recently for the first time. I had someone bring some back from a friend who was in Los Angeles, and then Half Acre just brewed a batch of Timbo, and one of my friends picked some up for me, and I had one of those. I've had one of those the last couple nights, and it just rocks. Like, it's a great beer, but it hasn't stood the test of time with like, these other beers where I'm like, I drink every time I see any of those on tap, except for today, I guess, when I got a Goldfinger instead of the main lunch. I do have main lunch now, by the way, people, but yeah, if we were to do this next year, maybe Timbo would fall in there
Yeah.
for me.
For me,
And
obviously,
Guinness would
Lion
be the other
Stout, Breakfast Stout from Founders. I was very close to putting that in. And Zinnebeer. I probably would have gone with Zinnebeer, except it's just under 6%, and I wanted something that was kind of hoppy and low alcohol, and my hoppy beer was high alcohol. So I really thought this through, you know? I mean, I don't want to be years and years, decades from now, being like, damn it, I should have told that bizarre TikTok fairy, Terrace Bulba, not Zinnebeer. This 5.8% Belgian Pale Ale is just killing me.
Yeah, I'm weighed
My
down.
palate's completely thrashed
blown,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah. God, just pass me a Guinness, I guess. So those are the ones for me. And I really thought about what I wanted that lager to be. So
Yeah.
that one I could probably replace with something else. But that one, I thought that was such an
That
amazing...
is a very, but there's also like a tie into this store in your life, right? Where you guys like pre-ordered like
Right.
25 pallets of it.
Yeah, there's some that was never picked up. It's right here. Some people pre-ordered it, never picked it up.
Yeah.
So there
It's
it is.
still their beer.
Yeah, it's sitting there. It's there if you want it, guys. It's out of code now, so we're going to throw it away.
So
Yes.
for me, cutting room floor, I wasn't sure we could work on the rules. There's a Sierra Nevada, sorry, wasn't sure it's going to work in the rules. There's a beer from Firestone Walker, Paraba Java, so they're Parabola variant with coffee. I wanted a coffee beer. It's not produced every year, and I want to get it dinged for
I
technical.
appreciate it. You saved
and
your
then-
life, I'm just going to say.
It saved my life. It absolutely saved my life. And then I was looking at my Pilsner lighter Pilsner list, and I was going to put Russian River's STS Pills
Yes.
on that
Very
list.
good.
That one is
Amazing
a
pills.
ripper. But I was conflicted on the bitterness of Swami's versus Adel's little lighter beer. So we went with Adel. But STS Pills, that one is a ripper.
Yes, absolutely. Any other cutting room floors?
Yeah, Guinness, Guinness and Lion Stout. I mean, I really agonized over the dark beer, and I was thinking Guinness is something that I'll just slam over and over and over. But I didn't really have any kind of take it slow guys on there, so I went with Expo, and I thought Lion Stout might have been out just because I haven't seen it in like 4 or 5 years.
Right. It's not being imported. I've not. I don't think it's coming into the U.S. at all. It's certainly not coming into Illinois.
Yeah, the last one I had somebody brought me from Michigan.
Yes. So in Michigan, it may actually be able to come back in because I've been talking to the importer was based in Michigan. It switched, so it might now somehow be coming. Whatever. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I used to belly up at Northdown and
Oh,
just
yeah, me
like
too.
order a can of Lion Stout for dirt cheap.
It's a great
Yeah.
beer.
It was
Wonderful beer.
Couple years of my life.
ashy, that like ashy quality
so
to it.
good.
It was so very, very good.
I miss that beer.
Yeah, great beer. Sri Lankan beer. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Cutting room floor for me was
Yes.
DBA.
DBA was definitely there.
and Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
The only
Yeah.
reason why DBA lost out here was
Because you hate Firestone Walker.
it was the amber
Yeah, we know why.
and the it's not that at all.
You hate David Walker.
Yeah.
I literally made a
Specifically
gold
David
medal
Walker.
winning beer with those guys.
Wow, can we
Yeah.
patch
I
him
love
in?
that.
I think he's on hold right
Yeah.
now.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, he's on hold for this show.
it was no. It was a question of
That'd
the,
be
the amberness in the body, and Orval wins out against DBA anytime. But DBA was definitely on the cutting room floor. Oddly enough, so was Union Jack, which I think is one of my favorite.
Is that beer
IPAs.
made still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely still is. It's just it's lost
Haven't seen it.
a lot of traction in this market because they
seen it
haven't been able to keep
remotely
it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When it was
Well,
fresh, it was great.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
And like your Pale 31 joke, like that was
That
was
beer
like
was
maybe
so
one
good.
of my top. Like that's like a
Beers of all
all-time
time.
beer.
Yeah.
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 It's so
Oh, yeah.
sad.
The other one that was on my cutting room floor was Guinness Foreign Extra Stout.
Yep, that's a good one.
Proper Foreign Extra, which, interestingly, Lion kind of took that market share away when it finally came because Foreign Extra wasn't really properly distributed at that time. It was hot dropped into people that would bitch and complain enough, but for the most part, there wasn't like any marketing behind it. And Lion was like, that satisfied that need because export stout it's just not a good product,
really
in
a
my
thing.
opinion. Yeah. In this market, no one cares. So that was one. And then Tank 7 was the other one that kind of dropped because, I believe that there are other better Saisons brewed on this planet, but I don't think there are better ones commercially available regularly in that consistency in
It's
this
its own
country.
thing. It's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And-
it is among the best or the best of that archetype of Saison. It's like that like it was the
like the
neo-American
neo-American
Saison,
sweet
but
Saison.
now
Yeah,
it's
I don't
but now we're in like postmodern now, so it's like
Right.
gone back to something different.
Meta
Not a
Saison.
beer I like very much.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
It's not a
He's
Saison.
always hated this beer for what it's worth.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
He's
remember.
always hated it.
Sure. Doesn't hit me the right way.
All right, that's cool.
Let's go to the Untapped check-ins and
Let's see who wins.
No, I can confirm this because I remember way back when we worked together.
Oh, I
was
was
not
going
a
to say,
fan.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant let's go to the Untapped check-ins to see who has the best list, because
It's-
that's how we're going to determine it.
Well, I honestly don't remember having a specific opinion about when we worked together. I'm sure I didn't
do.
like it, but it's one of those beers that like I'd have once a year or so, and then I'm like, oh no, I really don't like this beer at all.
So I've got
none of the things I
a
want
couple
from a
different
saison.
things that I want to ask. Okay. If you had to swap your list for one other list,
Oh,
Yeah.
which list would it be? I have them all written down. If anyone wants to look, I'll just have to hold it up to the
you want to just
screen
like
for
bang them
Dr.
out real
Lambic.
quick?
Again?
Just like say them out real loud.
All right,
real
we've
fast,
got
like real fast.
Mike, Terrace Bulba, Rothaus Pills, Edward, Palatine Pills, Lunch, and Will Be with no Brett. Shana had Pivo, Old Style, Zinnebeer, Expo, Stiegel Radler, and Bodum. Dr. Lambic had Swami IPA, Enegrin Edel Pills, Westy 8, Driga's Modern Times Dino World, which is a hazy, Speedway Stout, Bav had Orval, Rev Pills, Russian River Blind Pig, Fremont Summer Ale, which is a smash pale ale, Ondex Hef, Three Floyds, Alpha Claus. I had the Rothaus Iceoffel, Fathead Headhunter, Hill Farmstead Anna, De La Terrace Bulba, Cantillon St. Lamvinus, and Guinness Draft.
If I were to swap one list, it would be Quinn's.
Same.
Honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Chris
same.
is.
Because
Yeah.
mine was last. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. All right. And
about you, Andy?
Dr. Lambic?
I would go with Vavrick's. Actually, I'm warming up to it. I completely forgot about Hefeweizen, which
And
I really,
Orval.
It's yeah, and
6-month
Orval.
Orval,
I mean, that,
though.
and that's theoretically speaking. I mean, if you're playing by the rules, I guess whenever you drink it at 6 months, I guess so. It's always that. I mean, if you could age some, maybe that'd be like a nice thing to have. But let's just say it's if you still play the rules, I'd still do it. Another cutting room floor, not even cutting room floor, completely spaced on it was.
Sierra Nevada Pale
Austin-
Ale.
No, well, we're just trying to avoid that one on this
Nobody
sponsored podcast. But the
That wasn't a rule.
But the why am I blanking on the name of the brewery? The Austin brewery that makes Hefeweizen and Pilsner in Austin.
Live Oak.
Live Oak or
Live Oak.
ABGB?
Live Oak. How could I forget Live Oak?
Live Oak F,
Hefeweizen?
baby. That'd be a great one to have on there.
Yeah. So
Man, I think I'd have to go Vav too. Vav. Although Dr. Lambic's very close.
You literally said we almost had the same exact list, then you picked someone else's list. I feel very betrayed.
Coming home with me tonight.
Ah, man, you're right. Yours is very good too.
There's no dark beer I think hurts me in the
Yeah.
let me switch with someone's list because all you guys are like, oh, I want to drink a dark beer every once in a while. Yeah, sure you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean,
I got
the
made
other
lunch.
thing is you have two Pilsners.
Yeah, you hate
I
Pilsners
think you're-
notoriously.
It's
Also,
true.
might I point out, not a single mild on your list.
Oh,
I don't know. Why would I have Miles on the list?
I don't know.
I don't know who that guy
that's,
is.
I think that's Serge's list.
What was the old Jeremy Danner thing? Like, if your favorite
Yeah.
beer gets discontinued, it wasn't your favorite beer, or if your favorite style.
Yeah, I think that's a fun thing to say on Twitter. I don't think that's a true thing to say.
Because some people's favorite beers do get discontinued.
Right.
Yes.
An individual cannot sway a brewery that makes 200,000 barrels a year.
Unless
to
you're
make
like the
something.
guy from Strange Brew and you can drink a tank at a time.
No, but
Right.
the trends swing that way.
Yeah.
You
Right,
know? The
so-
trends are enough to swing that.
I think
it's-
he- and
it's
I
as
think to
true
be
as
fair to
it's
him,
it's
the
a
Twitter
fun,
person,
it's a fun
like-
thing to say on Twitter. It's not a
as
true
a
thing to say.
mass, like if a lot of people are saying it, like, well, if all you people who are saying it had bought the beer, maybe it would change things.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've done the swap. Now, if you had to drop one of the beers, this is too easy for you because you have pills. You have two pilsners. Now, it'd be
don't know what I'm
amazing if
dropping.
I hope you keep two pilsners and drop something else. You have to drop one of them. Which beer are you dropping?
I'll
go-
a real bastard way to answer this.
I'll
question, but-
go first. I would drop the St. Lamvinus. If I had to drop one, I'd drop the sour beer. I think I would.
You
I think
just
I would
drop
go
it?
to
You're
that
not-
one.
We're not replacing. We're just dropping.
Just dropping. You're down to 5.
Oh, okay.
You angered the pixie gods. You belittled the effectiveness of TikTok, and he says, "That's it. You're now down to 5.
You've questioned the efficacy of EFTs for selling beer products.
Exactly. And yeah. And so, yes, that's I would drop the St. Laminus just because I think there's the fewest situations where I would really want, like, where that beer would be the one that I felt like, nothing else on my list can touch this.
Yeah, I mean, easy to drop old style. It's like it was a gut. Like, I love this beer when I'm in the summertime, and I think one of the examples that Chris gave me for a potential situation was a baseball game.
Right.
Well,
true.
that's baseball beer.
Right.
But I would very happily drink Pivo Pills at a baseball game.
Right.
Or Stiegl Radler or Zinnebeer or Bodum.
If money is no object, preferably maybe.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, I do think there's something to be said for the fact that you do have a very light lager, because on like a 90 or 100 degree day in the summer or something like that, like even like my lightest beer, the Taras Bulba, I guess Guinness would be the lowest alcohol, but like Taras Bulba and my lager would still be too heavy on a super hot day. And where you've got that covered, where you can.
I've got it covered, but then I drop it, and I've still got Stiegl Radler and Pivo Pills.
It's true.
So like, y'all are fools for not taking my list. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's true.
There also is certainly like a like Twilight Zone hellscape version of this, where like, because you picked old style, you can have just a dumb beer you don't have to think about every once in a while, where all the rest of us are like
another Taras Bulba.
Yeah, like
another Anna.
Right. It's unlikely.
Another Edward.
But there are times and instances where I'm like, I just don't want to think about this beer at all. And
right.
That's when you drink those old styles or something that's sweating like that.
Yeah.
Sweaty bottle, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I think if I dropped one, it probably would be one of the Pilsners. It would probably be Palatine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mostly because I haven't had it in a minute.
I wish you had dropped like
will be my own beer.
Kept both the pills. Okay, so
which one would you? Which one were you gonna say? Taras Bulba?
No, any of the non-Pilsner ones.
I thought about it just to spite you, but no, I probably would drop Palatine.
Got it.
Fill that up with Rothaus.
How about you, Vav?
I would have dropped, I guess, the Fremont Summer Ale.
Okay.
Which is a bummer, but my hops are covered with Blind Pig, and IPAs just kind of hit harder when you want one. Like, Summer Ale is like an easy drinker, and I don't drink, like Mike, I don't drink high ABV all the time.
Yeah.
And in fact, very rarely. So when I do, Blind Pig wins.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean.
And how about the Good Doctor?
The Modern Times Dino World, for the same
hazy.
reason, Fab. It's just, you've got your hops covered. I don't need it. I want it. That's very hedonistic add to the list.
Yeah.
All right, unless somebody else has one other. I got one more scenario, and you guys are welcome to keep up, ask questions, and come up with your own scenarios if you want. But you have to swap one of your beers with one of the other beers that somebody has. The fairy is getting really kind of feisty right now.
I can do this. I would swap the Fremont Summer Ale with somebody's Taras Bulba.
Got it. That's a good one.
No, you need to say who.
Yeah, who's Taras Bulba?
Yeah. Who's
Taras Bulba?
Yeah, come on. Who's?
Mike's.
That's right. You know I got that good Taras Bulba.
God.
Mine's 2 days fresher than Chris's.
That's it. I'm now
Mine
taking.
did-
I'm now just for that. I'm taking Orval and giving him whatever beer I think he hates the most from my list.
Awesome. Which one do I hate most from your list? That's the great question.
Hold on, I've got to think about that now.
I don't know if I can.
I feel like it's easy. Like I just swap my Expo for Chris's Guinness.
Yeah.
Because that was an almost beer for me.
Yeah.
Keep my dark beer, drop a couple ABV points,
Yeah.
learn a couple songs while I drink it. You know.
Yeah, I would take the Palatine Pills and either swap it for Guinness or Orval. I'm not sure which one, to be perfectly honest. Probably Orval, if I'm actually being honest, but to pander Guinness, so I have a dark beer on there. Never can leave me alone. Now everyone's picking my list, Chris. How's that feel?
I know. I'm trying to think
Once I took one of your beers, now everyone.
Which beer do I want to? Here's the thing. I really want Edward. but I don't know what to swap it for.
Can I change mine?
Yes.
I want to take my Terrace Boba and trade it for your Terrace Boba.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Real 40
Very.
chess being played right now.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Expanding
I'm
mind.
going.
I'm going to
You know,
change
yeah,
mine
what's up,
to
Andy?
This angers the wizard.
switching my Fremont for Chris's Terrace
Wizard
Boba
has
now.
turned all my beers into pizza beer.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna drop my Westy 8, and I want that half of Weissen from Vav.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, the half.
Now that's a solid
my
trade.
Really,
I did.
really. I mean, it's tough, right? You only have 6 beers, and you're trying to cover so many bases, and that is for me, Hefeweizen is this one where it's like every 10th beer I want one, and I have no a wit beer. It's not going to work. I want a Hefeweizen.
And honestly, I'm good with the Westy in the trade. That is a really spectacular beer.
Works out for everyone. You love to see it.
But wait,
Why-
you
why
said
do we
wait,
all
hold
hate-
on. Westy 8 was the double though. So you're talking about Westy
Westy
6,
six-
which
oh,
is
six,
the which
sorry,
is the
sorry.
green. That's the green cap. That's the blonde.
6, not 8. 6, 8,
Wow,
12.
this
Excuse me.
changes everything.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no, the tables are ruined.
We had no idea what you were talking about the whole time.
I
Despite
meant
the fact describing it
to mention that
perfectly.
earlier, and I spaced on it. But yeah, that's the 6% effervescent dry hopped.
Given the fact that
maybe-
everything has to go through distribution, you're screwed. Yeah, you got 8 in the pipeline.
Oh man.
The wizard already heard
It's
us.
just impossible. It's not a possible decision for me to make. How I guess maybe.
Terrace for Terrace.
Yeah. No. I guess I'll go. I'll get rid of the Saint Lamb and I'll add. Oh, it's either the Hef or Edward. The Hef or Edward. The Hef or
You
Edward.
already have a saison.
You want Edward.
I want Edward. I just want Edward.
All right, I'll keep my bruised bananas to
But
myself.
here's
Thank
the
you
thing:
very
is
much.
I it would have been a bad. Something I would be upset about because then I'd have Headhunter, Terrace Bulba, and Edward. My 6 beers.
You can't find a Lambinus anywhere anymore on the. We'd be talking about on the
Exactly.
podcast. No one even imports it. You can't find that style. It's all hops. It's all the kids want these days.
So there you go. Any beers that you guys were surprised did not make it on anyone's list?
Well, we all hate
Yeah, we all
Sierra
hate
Nevada.
Sierra
Nevada Pale Ale.
No, I will say more
Nobody
than
said
that.
Allagash
Allagash White.
Allagash
Yeah.
White. Well, it's a
I
bronze
thought
medal
everyone
winner.
was gonna
Remember,
say.
it's only a bronze medal winner
Well,
according
yes.
to
It's also a gold medal winner.
You're right, but
Probably won more golds than bronze, but lately
No, that is-
it's fallen off.
God, it's fallen off of its medal
Right.
track. Yeah, it's
I want to add the bronze medal version to my 6-pack.
Exactly.
Gold
I
medals
was
are
I was
overrated.
surprised. I would have if I had to guess if there's one beer that you know is going to be on the list.
or 5 people's list.
I would have said, yeah, like someone's going to pick Allagash White. I probably would have guessed Terrace Bulba second just because it's such
Everybody
an
loves that
industry
shit. Yeah.
geeky
Yeah.
beer. But
Allagash wasn't even on anybody's cutting room
no,
floor.
no.
I thought about it, but you know, if I'm going to do,
I thought about bringing it into
between
the
something
cutting
like
room.
that and a Heffa, it's going to be on to Heifa, and that's no slight to Allagash. I
Right.
love that beer. It's
It's a
just
Right.
fantastic beer. I think it also is like so revered because it's a thing you can get in like the worst places will have a good Allagash White, and the
Yeah.
situation here
And-
is that like we can
Yep.
pick the 6th like greatest like.
And I think it can sub in for like Shana's old style even. Like on a 100-degree day,
It
that
could-
beer is fine.
that beer will sub
is
in for. I think
totally
everybody
okay.
has something on the list that will sub in for. That would sub in for Fremont Summer
Yeah.
Ale, for example, and that would sub
Yeah.
in for.
Yeah.
Any other beers you
It's
guys
the
were
6th man.
was
Like
thought
it's the
was
6th
gonna-
man award for sure.
Can we
Seventh
just
man.
can we just
Seventh
give
man,
that?
seventh man,
Can we
seventh
can we
man.
do that like as the Baker's 6-pack? Like that's the award
Everyone
for the
also
day.
gets
Yeah.
an
Everybody
Allagash
also
White.
gets an Allagash White.
Once a
The
year,
fairy
we all,
is
we
so
all once a
happy
year
with
we
us.
all get to have one Sierra Nevada and one Allagash
Yes,
White.
Yeah.
exactly. Any other beers that people were surprised wasn't on there?
I was kind of surprised to not see High Life on anybody's.
I was
honestly.
surprised no barrel aged beers.
I'm not
at all.
Nah.
It's
Well, I'm
like
pretty surprised. No
Forever.
No
that's
marshmallow
all you drink.
Hanji?
No one wants that, right?
No
Yeah.
marshmallow Hanji? Come on, guys.
You mean I
want-
don't
What are we
have
doing?
to punish my
Marshmallow
liver with
Hanji.
19%
Yeah.
nonsense
Amazing.
every? No, that didn't surprise me whatsoever.
I want King Julius,
Yeah.
Marshmallow Hanji, and I forego my next 4 beers. There you go.
Two-hearted for us Midwesterners.
Yeah.
I feel like that was an odd
That,
omission.
that was on. I made a list of 8 beers, and that was on the list of 8.
That was on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when we started talking, I was like, I didn't put anything dark on this because
Right.
it was 100 degrees.
It was
I'm an
very
idiot.
hot today.
I will say that damn
but-
Swami, when that
Yeah,
beer is fresh,
Swami.
if we got fresh Swami more often, I think it could definitely be on
Yeah.
on the list because that beer
It's a crusherone. It's for the crusherones.
It's for the crusherones.
There's one. I don't go back. So my dad moved to upper part of Michigan. There's a brewery called Storm Cloud, and they make some interesting Belgian beers. Rainmaker, a few other ones. They're really good. Whenever I go there, they're really fun. So it's kind of like one of these places where it's like you go there so little, but every time you go there, it's amazing. Yeah, there's something from them. I don't know what a beer would be, but like, yeah, Rainmaker is pretty good. So that just kind of popped in my head as like, if I could just have one more, just like I have it so infrequently.
Love it.
Yeah. And if I could add any beer from any time, it would be, as Andy Carter mentioned, 2012 Alpine Nelson. I mean, the goat.
Like,
It's the goat
The
of the
goat
goats.
of goats.
The
for
goats.
Do we?
IPAs.
I guess that's a
IPAs.
question. Do we all have a nostalgia beer that falls outside the purview of the guidelines from today? That would be
I
like
mean, that's mine.
that would be yours.
Oh, Alpine Nelson would be mine.
Mine would be a
For sure.
tie-up between 2009 Gumball Head. I have more.
Yeah.
I have more.
That's a
2000,
great- that's a great call.
2010 Dreadnought, and I still have a scar on my leg with a story from that.
Why you
That's for
said
another
if this
show.
beer
This
is ever not
I'm
available.
going to scar myself for this.
Oh man, I have such a story about this. But 2010
scarification.
Dreadnought.
I thought it was
Gumball
from like
logo.
6 months ago, and you were like 2010 Dreadnought. Ah.
Oh, it's way worse than that.
Okay.
Oh man, I'll tell you
We'll
guys
have
the
to hear
story
that with all
offline.
the
on.
top secrets.
That's for the
and-
Patreon episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's for the Patreon
Okay,
extras.
what else do you got, Vav, on your outside the rules?
Corona Extra.
Boo.
Hold on.
Boo.
Hold on. As a Coronita
Okay.
on
Double boo.
on a boat
Triple boo.
off of Isla Mujeres.
All the booze.
It's just the experiential, perfect ice cold beer in the most perfect time after swimming with whale sharks.
You're drafting a feeling there.
I
You're not
am,
having
and that's
a
why.
beer.
But like, I don't know, man. It hit just right, perfectly at that time. That's
Okay.
why I don't crap on macro as much as I used to, because there's a time and a place for every beer.
That's true.
Okay. Any other beers that?
If we're talking like nostalgia beers, honestly, Pale 31.
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
been that when that blue beer blew my mind when I had it for a few times.
Yep.
And when
I
they
would
started coming
say.
to Chicago and it was super fresh, like that was.
I mean, old Sculpin. Old Sculpin,
Oh,
like
yeah.
pre-buyout
like
Sculpin.
2-year-old
Yeah.
Sculpin. 2-year-old habanero Sculpin.
Exactly.
So
You can still get that.
Right.
Oh yeah,
But
Still in
like-
production. That counts.
absolutely.
2013 through
Yep.
2015,
So good.
or actually 2015 or earlier. No, probably even late. It could go later than that. I think up to like 2018 or whenever it was still like amazing. So anytime up till that, Sculpin was
Yeah, you forget how good those
so.
Oh, man.
It's like one of those you live
good.
long enough to become the villain or you die the
I
hero.
mean, I remember having that in Chicago and being like, "This is as good as like a West Coast IPA can be." It's you can have Pliny, you can have all that stuff. Those are not better, but they're not.
They're
I mean,
they're all in the same.
They're all they're
elite
all
tier.
Yeah,
of
they're all
West
up
Coast
there.
IPAs.
And I mean, talk about like a fall off. It's so sad what's kind of happened with that. So, hey, no, I'm Crooks and Convicts. No, never mind. Kings and Convicts. What are they called?
Yeah, Kings
Whatever.
and Convicts.
Yep.
Kings and Convicts. I'm sure it's still great. Someone told me that they had one at the brew pub, the Kings and Convicts brew pub. They had a Sculpin, and they said it was like phenomenally awesome.
I mean, Kings and Convicts wasn't the one who fumbled the ball on it.
No,
That, so
no,
like,
no.
That was Constellation, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry, Constellation. I don't know. They sponsored the
Please,
Patreon.
please buy me
episodes.
out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Anyone else who has a beer that? Yeah, man. If I could get Alpine and a Sculpin back, be a very and Lion. If we could.
If we've said it's any beer, any time,
Mm-hmm.
it would be one of my home brews
Ah.
2015, which is a white peach, white nectarine sour, which is like literally
Wow.
not only the best beer I've ever made, but like literally one of the best beers I've ever had. Like, period.
Sure, but what's your distribution plan to get it to you in the metaverse?
I mean, if I'm allowed to make infinite amount of it, I mean, yes, there will be a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting, but it will be made.
You know, Mike, you brought up a good one before. Like
Will
OG,
be?
OG, yes.
With or without Brett?
OG Phantom, a good bottle.
Yeah, a good
Oh,
bottle.
wow, yeah.
Everyone's
I mean,
a good bottle.
Talk about just like
Yeah.
everyone, or so many people have had magical experiences.
Got Alex Kidd in my DMs now. He's trying to get these good bottles.
Right. Because that beer was special.
It was amazing.
Yeah, very, very special.
I miss Old Stone IPA before the recipe switch.
I genuinely don't remember what it tastes like anymore.
It was a lot more bitter and green.
I remember having it in San Diego on my way, leaving San Diego, and just been so like just doused in West Coast IPA. And I got a beer at the airport. I got a Stone IPA because that's kind of they had decent beer at the San Diego airport, but it must have been insanely fresh. And I was still like I just had the Sculpin and the Blind Pigs and all that stuff, and I was like, this is as good as any beer that I've had this entire trip. It was so good.
Yep.
And it was, I mean, you could just tell it was screaming fresh. That beer rocked when it was fresh back in the day.
I remember there was a period that was my favorite brewery, and I haven't had a Stone beer in
Right.
it could be 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just you
Yeah.
never see it here, and you're like, oh yeah.
OG Gumball Head's a good call. I mean,
OG
that was
Gumball
my
Head's-
like
That
go-to. Like you're in a bar.
That was it.
And it's just like, oh, they have Gumball. Done.
Yeah, it
Done.
was like
and you never regretted it.
$4
Yeah.
pints at
That beer's changed
Red Line
a
Tap.
lot.
Yeah, it has. Well, the hops aren't the same, and it's just it has to adapt.
What are they using Saphir now?
I don't know what the blend is, but it's not. It isn't
The
what it
funny
was.
secret about that. hop, it's in Gumball Head.
I do
yeah,
love that.
It's a smash beer.
yeah.
Now
It's
with
very-
Saphir.
Yeah. Right.
God, that OG
Man.
Gumball Head was just something else.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Well, anything else then? What are we at?
Chuck Var from Green Flash back in the day. That's a deep cut. They only did like draft of that for a while. That was like
I don't remember that one at all.
when I did that bar takeover thing at Norse
Norseman?
Bar, years ago. I
Norse
had
Bar.
Green Flash send me a keg out, and it was beautiful. Chuck Silva made just a really great Czech Pilsner and called it Chuck Var. It was
What
awesome.
about Green Flash Rayon Vert?
Rayon Vert was
Oh my god!
God.
Remember
I-
that beer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a bar
Jeez.
when I lived in Logan Square. There was a bar that had bought like basically all of the back stock of
Yes.
Rayon Vert.
Not all of it.
What? Not all of it.
Not
No,
all
it was
of
not. I said basically. And I would just go in there, and I would have like one every couple of days, and it was
They brought
the most
it-
overcarbonated.
they had a
thing
bunch
I've
right
ever
at the
had.
end.
I was still running it at Publican up until when I left Publican to ill-fatedly open my distribution company in September of 2019. I was still running vintage Rayon Vert.
Yeah.
and,
And
it
it
was
was-
still
It was still tasting good.
spectacular.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It wasn't spectacular.
I don't
Yes,
think it
it
was.
was.
I don't think.
Orval was better.
I don't think it was not
It was
at
it
its
was great.
peak, but
No. But it was still very.
but that
good.
beer had lasted a long. I mean, it was
Well,
amazing how long
It
that beer
also like
lasted.
was a thing that introduced a lot of people who had never had anything like that to that because they were so hot at that time and they chose to do this insane thing.
Man, that beer was good. They also had like Silva Stout. They had some crazy old beers that are just gone.
Yeah.
Well, I
Rest in
guess they're
peace
not
to a real
technically
one.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Man,
gone.
Rayon Beer. I hadn't thought about that beer in quite a while.
Have you tried the lip ring at Rev yet? Which they did
No.
not name after me.
I assumed they had.
Yeah,
Every-
I feel like they might have.
They didn't. I thought so too. Again, appeals to my sense of narcissism. You should come try it though. It's spectacular.
What is it? Is it like
It's
a
an-
DBA clone? They definitely didn't name after you.
It is an Orval tribute.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. They definitely didn't name that after you.
And they didn't.
How do they do an Orval tribute without Britannomyces?
It's in it.
Is it just at the pub?
Yeah, pub.
Oh, okay.
Bum bum.
Wild. great. This has definitely gone on a path that people have really enjoyed the last minute or two.
No. I mean, whatever. Sorry, guys. Sorry you didn't get what you paid for.
You pay for the
This
Patreon,
one.
get better episodes.
Exactly.
All of this is cut out.
Yeah, the Patreon episodes are like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Any final word? I mean, a good English pub ale would have been
Yeah.
good on mine.
No
too.
one did it better,
A good-
like Coniston
bitter-
Bluebird
That
or
was-
Adnams or
Yeah,
something, or Tim
Coniston.
That was-
Taylor's or
yeah,
something
Tim
like that.
Taylor.
If it was like moments of like, if I could pick exactly the moment that you and I were at Shelton Brothers Festival drinking the leftover keg of Constant Bluebird Bitter, then sure, I would have put that on there, but I didn't. But yeah,
You know what?
that beer
Another
at that
day.
time, at that age, I would have.
If we had done this in the
would have been
fall,
on there.
like a bitter probably would have ended up on the list. It
Or a
was
mild,
also like
even a
100
mild,
degrees
maybe?
today. Yeah, mine probably would have been like 5 miles in a bitter. If I had to guess.
Too
Just
dark.
different service formats, like one on nitro, one on draft, one on
cask.
one on
Yeah.
cask, one on gravity,
same
one on
mild.
hand pump, and then I'm
And
done.
one
That's all I got.
can-conditioned pastry mild.
It's like that
Exactly.
Simpsons episode with the the 3 different taps, and they're all going to like different bottles, but they're coming from the same tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We anything else you want to?
You know,
Folk.
Welcome to the club.
I had a thought about this when
Mm-hmm.
Chris was like, "This is what we're gonna do." There's these situations, and I thought we were gonna have to choose one beer out of our 6-pack for a given situation.
Ah,
So I came up
I
with a bunch
see.
of situations.
okay.
Awesome.
I want to hear 'em.
What are they?
If somebody's got to offer up their 6-pack and choose one, and then I will.
You'll give us a situation for the beer we picked.
No, I'll give you the situation. You choose one of your beers.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Oh,
okay.
yeah, cool.
But
Yeah.
once you have chosen your beer,
It's gone.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
got it.
And you don't know
My
what the
beers are all the
situations
same
are going
beer,
to be.
essentially. So.
So like forever? Okay, got it. You're gonna give me 6 situations.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
who's in?
I'm in.
You're in?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go.
All right, Chris, you're up first.
All right.
You showed up unprepared for your dissertation. What beer?
For my dissertation,
I don't have enough alcohol.
I think I'm gonna go. Jeez. St. Lambanus.
You are on a plane.
Headhunter.
On a train.
Anna.
On a boat.
The
Did I already
Corona
say
that
Terrace
Vav
Bulba?
had.
Did I say Terrace Bulba?
Not
already?
yet.
No.
Here.
Okay.
With a goat.
Definitely the marathon.
I'm at Doppelbox.
So what do you have left?
I think I have Guinness left only.
The last one on this list was Alone on Your Couch at Home.
There you go.
Not bad.
Guinness.
Nice.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Do we all get
Probably
different lists?
wouldn't how I would.
You can play. You want to play?
Yeah, I want to play, but I want to get a different list of.
Well, yeah, you could.
scenarios.
I got lots of lists.
I'm in. Hit me.
You just met a TikTok wizard.
Spindrift.
Alpha Claus.
Yeah.
You're doing the Dougie.
What is Rev Pills?
You're negotiating a raise.
Fremont Summer Ale.
Flying a kite
Blind Pig.
on a Zoom call.
Orval.
And your last one, what do you have left?
Andischer Hefeweizen.
That's what you're drinking in a park.
Yeah.
Oh.
That worked out pretty
That
well
worked
for
out.
you.
Nailed it.
That was good.
Nailed it.
How many do you have left?
Andy, you in?
I'm in. Let's go.
All right. You are a guest on a podcast.
Try a Fontaine Goose.
You are hosting a podcast.
Adel Pills.
You are crashing a podcast.
Oh, the Speedway Stout.
You are running with the bulls.
Swamis.
You are drifting lost in space.
Westy 6, not 8. 6, not 8.
And what's your last beer?
The Modern Times Dino World.
You got to blend that with pizza beer.
Man.
Probably
Half and half.
bad.
It's tough.
Pizza beer wasn't that bad.
You
They're
okay?
lovely people.
You can I do? Do you have one for Mike or should I?
I mean, I've got situations on situations.
I don't
but if
remember
you,
all 6 of mine. Let's do it.
He's got your list.
All right.
You're making. Oh boy.
Okay. You are purchasing non-fungible items.
Lunch.
Okay. You are in line to buy growlers of a hoppy pale ale.
Edward.
Okay. You are about to do a spin-off of a radio show, an opening of a radio show slash podcast.
Palatine pills.
Okay.
Patreon pills.
Yeah, Patreon pills.
How many is that now? 3?
That's 3. Gotta see if I
Okay,
remember
boy,
which
oh
one.
boy.
Like you're holding your notebook up like
You
you're reading
are.
these.
That's true, I am. You are in the middle of a terrific dust storm.
Terrace Bola.
You are in a graveyard on Halloween, and it's graveyard on Halloween.
Will be.
And then there's a zombie apocalypse.
Rothaus.
Okay, well done. Nailed that one. Nailed it.
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay, guys, I think it's about that time. Should we thank all our guests and all our listeners? Is there anything anybody would like to say before we get out of here? I wanted to thank everybody before they say anything for putting these lists together and coming on. I appreciate it very much. Thanks to Andy, Vav, and Shana for coming on. Thanks so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Anything? Bueller?
How quickly do these come out these days? It's been a while.
Depends on the week, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
I'll try to get it out this week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I'll be at HomebrewCon next week.
Dope.
Nice.
Judging, doing a talk. Come say hey.
Cool.
Where's it at?
Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I'm going to Pittsburgh in July.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll be fun for a beer festival.
cool story.
Pittsburgh Mixed Culture Fest.
All right,
Check it
everyone. We will see you next week.
Wait.
So long, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
This is what
See
we
ya.
wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.